Hi, my name is Ivan Esparza. I am 21 and I've been here for a year and a half now. I play striker, midfielder, and defender because the style of play that we normally use is a 4-3-3, interchanging in different positions. So what we do here doesn't really affect a static positioning. You have to move around a lot, and it also helps the player develop much better when they can play at any position. I think the best parts of RIASA is the coaching. You can't get the quality of coaches that you would like. I mean, ex-professional players that understand the game very well, especially a coach like Di Jones and Mark. They've been helping us throughout our development and make you a smarter player every time you play and stuff. So another thing is the training. You train every day and have games throughout the week and weekends for the whole year, so that's what helps.
So it's very intensive and you feel like you have a good structure to it?
Yeah.
Cool. And how do the coaches here compare with the coaches you've had back in the States in the past?
I noticed most of the time if we had coaches back home, they were parents of other players that learned at the same time as we did, which was kind of hard because they were starting to get to know the game as well as we did. And as I got older, we got coaches that were just as good as coaches here. Just the tactical level of coaches was much higher, and they taught us the game to another extent.
So you've learnt more about the sort of strategy and the structure and the tactical side of football while being in England.
Yes.
And the worst parts of your program? Or the difficulties you find?
Well, the difficulties, I guess, is being homesick quite a bit, and actually the weather kind of makes you feel, it's a little gloomy, so it kind of makes you feel it's different from home because I'm used to hot weather, and I pretty much would say that those are the main things that are hard here, but everything else is either decent or good or better.
Cool. And a lot of people say they miss their food from back home. The food's very different, isn't it?
Yeah, the food is very different. I'm probably one of the people that really misses food back home because I'm used to Mexican food, which is really delicious.
Yeah. Cool. And you mentioned earlier about the fact that you train every day, and obviously you've got your academics to fit in with that. How do you sort of time manage with everything you've got on?
That's actually one of the hardest things, is keeping up with schoolwork and practices, but I think that it's not that difficult if you make sure you have a time schedule and know what you want to do throughout the day from the day before, since the day before. So it's very simple to balance if you know what you want, and that's usually how most of us go day in and day out, is know what we want to do each day.
So you sort of pre-plan the day before what you want to do the next day.
Yeah. Or have a weekly agenda kind of thing.
Right, so. Yeah, good. And life in Leeds in the UK, how are you finding it? How is it different to back home?
It's actually very different because since you're legally an adult at 18, there's a lot of things you can do. You can go out on a night, especially in Leeds. Leeds is one of the biggest places to go out at night, and I mean, if you balance that out and not really get too crazy, then it's kind of a good thing. But there's also a lot of historical things that you can actually check out and stuff. So there's a lot to do, and I mean, there's shopping centers and everything on the above. So it's just interesting to see what kind of a different place it is to back home, because you feel more sheltered at home too, and you don't get to experience the history that England has for thousands of years. So.
Yeah. Have you been over to York? That's used to be the capital city of England. And
yes, I've been there, and I mean, it's so interesting. Like even especially how you can walk around it with
all the old ruins and things.
Yeah, it's barricaded, and you can walk around the whole city.
Around the fortress walls and things.
So
yeah,
it's pretty interesting to find things like that, because they're so old, but they actually have a lot of meaning to them.
Yeah, see the history behind the place and things.
So
good. And how about on the football side of things? Have you been to any Premiership grounds or?
Yeah, well, actually, I've been to 2 different clubs. I've been to Liverpool, and I've been to the Man City Stadium. The Man City Stadium is more modern, but they're both great football teams, and they show their quality every time, and it's just an amazing feeling to be on the field. I mean, as a fan, and it makes you kind of dream of you actually being the person playing there. So the fans make it that much better. It's just a great feeling to have. So those are experiences that you never get in just any place.
So Ivan, where do you see your future after your time with RIASA?
After RIASA, I feel like I can go professionally, and I feel like there's opportunities all around the world, such as going to Kemi Kings in Finland, as well as Norway, smaller countries around there, and then playing there for a couple years, maybe helping to move back around here in England and play for the top Premiership clubs. Usually that's how players get moved on to the next level, is by taking stepping stones and getting their foot in the door professionally. And that's where I see myself, as well as keeping my business degree, and I could finish school and land any job around business after that, and that's just a backup plan, and that's what RIASA offers, is both a professional opportunity and an academic opportunity to go somewhere else in international business.
So you feel confident with moving on after you graduate?
I feel very confident in both sides of the program, because it's what I want to do in both aspects. So if I go professional, then I get my foot in the door, and if I've finished my degree, I get to go and start a business somewhere else, or anywhere in the world actually. So.
And just a last bit of advice, if there's anyone thinking about coming on the program, what advice would you give them if they're considering it?
I'd have them consider them. I consider them to have an idea of how to live on their own, and how to be, I guess, not so sheltered as a person, because it's hard to be without your parents if you don't know how it is to live without them.
So it forces you to be independent?
It forces you to be independent. I think that's the best way to say it, is to be independent as a person, and you will do just fine. And usually that builds character, and it builds the person you are. The more you do it, the more you get used to it, and you can actually do anything you want. So,
thank you very much, Ivan.